You cannot defeat us. We are Legion.
I woke up to the hum of dying engines and the stench of burned titanium. The ship around me, what was left of it, was nothing more than a carcass drifting above the wastelands of Eden 9. The sunlight leaked through broken hull panels, cutting through the dust like molten knives. My name is Ramesh, commander of the Helios Vanguard. Once I led fleets across galaxies. Now I was crawling through ruins, chasing ghosts. The distress beacon had pulled me here. Coordinates encrypted under the tag Class A Bioprison. What I found wasn't a prison. It was a graveyard. The metal corridor opened into a circular chamber, half collapsed, sand bleeding through every crack. And there they were, 6 bodies suspended midair, chained from the ceiling like shattered gods. Their skins shimmered. 2 shades split the world apart. Half of them glowed with a deep violet luminescence, their skin like bruised starlight. The others burned a radiant emerald, veins pulsing faintly under the light. Their hair, white silver, glowing faintly, floated in the heat waves. I froze, not because of what they were, but because of who they were. Felix, Sony, Philora, Nixira, Rimshi, Norixa. Names whispered through resistance channels, the Eden Sisters, last survivors of the alien rebellion that had tried to unite human and off-world colonies against the core syndicate. And someone had hung them like trophies. My pulse climbed. The air trembled as my boots scraped against the sand-coated metal floor. My blades crossed against my back, an old reflex, but I didn't reach for them. Not yet. They said no man would dare step here again. A faint voice drifted through static, as if the air itself was speaking. Why did you? I turned sharply. One of the purple-skinned women, Philora, wasn't unconscious. Her eyes opened, glowing faintly like dying embers. I'm here for survivors, I said. Not ghosts. She smiled weakly, blood at the edge of her lip. Then you came too late, human. The chains rattled. A low vibration rolled through the chamber. The ship wasn't dead. It was breathing. My wrist scanner blinked red. Organic neural core detected. They weren't just hanging here. They were connected. Their bodies used as biological processors to keep the ship alive. I felt a wave of nausea. Who did this to you? Felora's eyes flicked toward the open roof. Your people. Before I could speak, the floor split open, revealing a hidden layer of glowing conduits beneath the sand. The chains retracted, pulling tighter around the captives. The ship roared awake, metallic screams echoing as if it had a soul. I drew both blades. The hum of plasma met the sound of rising energy. I'll get you out, I said. You can't, Norixa whispered. If you cut the chains, Eden dies. My grip faltered. What? We are the power grid, Rimshi said. Her voice trembled, not from pain but resignation. Our blood fuels the core. Our lives keep the last dome cities alive. And that's when I saw it. Holographic images flickering above them. Human colonies breathing under oxygen domes, powered by the same energy surging through their veins. They weren't prisoners. They were sacrifices. The ship trembled again, as if sensing my realization. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Felora's gaze hardened. You can't save both worlds, Ramesh. Choose us or them. Outside, thunder exploded across the horizon. Dozens of dark figures were approaching through the sandstorm, mechanized drones carrying the insignia of the core syndicate. They had found me. Damn it, I hissed, activating my neural comms. A I-Unit K-9, initiate defense protocol, lockdown perimeter. Static. Then, too late, Commander. They're already inside. A blinding flash tore through the entry corridor. Metal screamed. My HUD blinked red. Hostile breach, 12 units inbound. Philora closed her eyes. Run, human! But I didn't. I slammed my boots into the sand, raised both plasma blades, and faced the storm bursting through the broken airlock. If I couldn't save them yet, I'd make damn sure no one touched them again. The first drone lunged, sleek, silver, glowing red eyes. I sliced it midair, molten sparks splashing my arm. Another followed, then 3 more. The chamber became chaos, metal, light, screams, and alien eyes watching me through tears and disbelief. Then came the final hit. A shock wave ripped through the deck, sending me crashing backward. My vision blurred as something heavy wrapped around my leg. A chain. Before I could move, Felora's voice echoed. Soft, broken. Forgive us. The chains glowed white hot. The floor cracked open, and I fell into darkness. The blood of circuits. It where Ramesh wakes inside the alien neural grid itself. When I opened my eyes, the world wasn't real anymore. Metal veins pulsed beneath translucent walls, glowing like a heart made of light. The air smelled like ozone and burning circuitry. I wasn't lying on the ground. I was suspended, floating inside some kind of liquid chamber that shimmered like mercury. My armor was gone. My blades gone too. Only my reflection remained, distorted against the curved glass, veins glowing faintly blue under my skin. The voice came from everywhere at once. Soft, melodic, wrong. Welcome, Commander Ramesh. You're inside the neurogrid now. I tried to move. Pain shot through every nerve, like electricity crawling under my flesh. Where are they? I managed to gasp. The Eden sisters are still bound to the ship's core, the voice replied. Their life force stabilizes this grid. You are tethered to them now. Tethered. The word burned through my mind. I remembered the fall, the white-hot chains, the collapsing floor, and Felora's eyes when she whispered, "Forgive us." They hadn't let me fall. They had pulled me in. The liquid drained. I crashed onto a metal floor slick with glowing residue. When I looked up, the room stretched endlessly, cables like roots, walls made of living light, and at the center, suspended inside crystal pods, were 6 figures: Felix, Sony, Felora, Nixira, Rimshi, Norixa. Their eyes were closed, but their faces moved, flinching, trembling, whispering without sound. Data streamed from their chests into the floor, feeding the pulsing grid. I staggered forward. My boots echoed against metal as I reached for Felora's pod. Her face was peaceful, too peaceful. Then her eyes opened. They weren't eyes anymore. They were galaxies, codes swirling like storms inside them. You shouldn't have come here, she said, voice layered with static and sorrow. You'll be rewritten. I'm not leaving you. You can't leave. Not without killing us, I looked around. Every surface vibrated, screens flickering with human faces, cities, soldiers, all powered by the same glowing veins. Every heartbeat of the ship was theirs. Every flicker of light was stolen from their blood. This wasn't just a prison. It was a network of stolen souls. I clenched my fists. Who did this? Felora hesitated. Then her expression changed, grief curdling into anger. The Syndicate. Your kind, but they used one of us to do it. The grid shuddered. Energy rippled through the air. And for the first time, I heard another voice. Familiar, human, male. I told you not to interfere, Ramesh. The light bent, forming a humanoid figure, tall, wrapped in a long black coat of synthetic fibers. His eyes, silver mirrors. Commander Varek, my old superior. The one who'd ordered me to stand down when the Eden Rebellion fell. You, my voice broke into disbelief. You turned them into this? He smiled without warmth. You call it cruelty, I call it efficiency. They were dying species. Now they power our civilization. I stepped forward, but my legs faltered as if the air itself resisted me. You're inside the grid, Ramesh. Everything you touch here belongs to me. Felora's pod glowed red. She screamed, not from pain, but from memory. I felt it too, the echo of her agony flooding through my skull. Stop, I roared. The floor split open again, this time revealing a sea of faces, thousands of alien consciousnesses flickering beneath the metal like trapped fireflies. Varek raised his hand. You can't save them. You can only join them. And then he dissolved into a swarm of holographic fragments that wrapped around me like chains. My lungs burned. My heartbeat stuttered. Felora's voice pierced through the chaos. Ramesh, listen to me. The grid responds to emotion. Rage, pain, love. It reads them. What do? I shouted. Feel something real. Break its control. I remembered her eyes, her defiance, the way she had spoken my name, not as a soldier, but as someone who believed I could still be human. I focused on that. Every memory, every face, every loss ignited like fire in my chest. The holographic chains flickered, glitched, then shattered in bursts of white static. The grid screamed. Walls convulsed. Lights flared. Varek's voice returned, distorted. "You fool! You're corrupting the system!" "Good," I hissed. The pods cracked. One by one, the chains began to weaken. Felora's hand pressed against the glass, eyes wide with both hope and fear. "If you break the grid completely," she warned, "you'll destroy the cities above. Billions will die." I froze. My heart hammered against impossible choices again. Her voice softened. "But if you don't, we will." The lights pulsed faster. The system was collapsing around us. I had seconds, maybe less. "Then we end it together," I said. Felora's eyes glimmered. "You really are insane human." "Maybe," I replied, "but I'm not heartless." I slammed my fist into the control core. The world exploded into light. And in that blinding instant, I saw her hand reaching toward me. Then everything went dark again. Echoes of the fallen sky. Ramesh wakes in a fractured dream where the alien's memories rewrite his own. The explosion didn't kill me. It fractured me. When my vision returned, I was no longer in my body. I floated through shards of memory, each one flickering with light and pain. Cities burning, children crying, alien skies painted red by human warships. And then, her face, Felora, but not as she was, not suspended, not broken. She was alive, laughing under a golden sun, running barefoot through silver fields that no longer existed. I tried to reach her, but my hand passed through air like smoke. "You're in the memory loop now," said a voice behind me. I turned. It wasn't Varek. It wasn't human. A tall alien stood before me, skin deep sapphire, eyes like mirrored moons. He wore a mantle made of fractured light, and his presence bent the space around him. "Who are you?" I asked. "I am what remains of the Eden Grid's mind," he said calmly. "They called me Lumerian. I was its architect." He studied me as if reading thoughts before they formed. "You've torn through the core's control matrix. Now the grid doesn't know what's real anymore. You're bleeding into its memory." I looked around again. Thousands of memories rippled like glass shards, each showing moments of the aliens' past lives before humanity enslaved them. Children learning under violet skies, warriors pledging to protect the stars, lovers holding hands beneath floating crystal trees. It was beautiful and unbearable. "This is what we lost," Lumerian said, "and you humans replaced it with power stations and warships." "I didn't know," I whispered. "You never wanted to." The accusation hit deeper than any blade. I had fought wars I never questioned. I had called alien blood progress. But then I saw another vision. Felora kneeling beside a dying human soldier, pressing her glowing hand to his chest, saving him, saving me. "Why would she help us?" I asked. Lumerian tilted his head. "Because she believed you were different. She believed you could feel my heart twisted, the memory blurred, and suddenly I wasn't watching anymore. I was inside it. The battlefield roared around me, gunfire, burning sky, the smell of plasma and blood. I looked down. My hands were gloved in silver armor streaked with crimson. Felora was beside me, wounded, trying to drag me toward cover. "Stay with me, human," she shouted. I remembered this. It was the first time I met her. I had been ordered to execute all survivors on this planet, but I didn't. I saw her standing over a fallen comrade, refusing to abandon him. And I couldn't pull the trigger. Back then, I didn't know why. Now I did. The vision shifted violently. The battlefield crumbled into pixels, and I was pulled backward through collapsing memories. Felora's face dissolved, her voice echoing, "Find me before they erase us again." I hit the ground, metal, real this time. I gasped, lungs full of cold air and static. The grid was gone. I was back aboard the ship, but it wasn't the same. The walls bled light. The pods were shattered. Only two remained intact, Felora and Norixa. The others were gone. My scanner flickered, vitals critical, power drain imminent. I crawled toward Felora's pod. Her hand was pressed against the glass from the inside, trembling. The glow from her veins was dimming. Felora! Her eyes opened weakly. You broke the grid, she whispered. You freed half of us, but it's unstable. The ship is collapsing, I gritted my teeth. Then we get out. Together, you don't understand. The others, Rimshi, Felix, Nixira, they're gone. Their energy is scattering. It'll consume everything if we don't stabilize it. I looked up. The walls pulsed faster, metal melting, circuits liquefying into rivers of light. Tell me what to do. Felora stared into me, her expression torn between trust and fear. You'll have to merge with the core, Ramesh. Take their place temporarily. Become the bridge I froze. If I do that, I die. Yes. The answer came so gently it almost sounded merciful. I clenched my jaw. No, there has to be another way. There isn't, she said softly. But if you do nothing, billions die when the grid implodes. The deck split again. Firestorms erupted outside the hull, ships falling from orbit, the skyline of human cities flickering like dying candles. The power web was failing. Felora's pod cracked further. Energy lashed from her chest, wrapping around my arm. The connections surged through me, memories, emotions, all flooding my mind in a single instant. I saw everything. Her childhood, her planet's destruction, her hatred for humanity, her love for a soldier who once refused to kill her. Me. Her voice trembled in my head now, soft and raw. You were supposed to save your world. The ship's alarm screamed. The ground shook. I placed my palm over the control node. The circuits recognized my pulse instantly. Then silence, darkness, and a heartbeat that wasn't mine, pulsing somewhere deep within the machine. The machine's heart. Felora awakens in a rebuilt world where Ramesh exists only as a voice in the circuits. Or so she thinks. I woke up to the taste of metal in my mouth. Smoke filled the air, turning every breath into ash. The once silent corridors of Eden 9 were now screaming, alarms blaring, steel melting, and somewhere deep below, the heartbeat of the planet pulsed like a dying god. My hands trembled. Blood, green and red, coated my palms. Not all of it was mine. Felix was gone, and I was the one who let her go. The memory burned like acid. I'd watched her fall through the fractured glass bridge, her scream echoing through the vacuum before the atmosphere shields sealed again. Norixa had tried to reach her, but Rimshi held her back. She chose it, Rimshi whispered. She saved us. Saved us from what? The question haunted me as I stumbled toward the central chamber, where the surviving alien women were gathering around a holographic console flickering with static. The city above was collapsing. Every support beam, every reactor tower, every piece of metal groaned like a dying animal. Ramesh, Sony said, her voice low but sharp. You've seen it too, haven't you? I looked up at her, her emerald skin glowing faintly in the flicker of firelight. Seen what? The data Felix downloaded before she fell. She pointed to the console. A stream of alien code cascaded across the projection, resolving into something that looked like a human face. My own. It spoke. Project Eden 9 initiated. Biological experiment. Success rate 87%. Termination protocols in motion. Subject R-17 compromised R-17, Felora whispered, her voice trembling. That's you. My chest went cold. Felix hadn't fallen by accident. She'd found something. Something about me. Sony stepped closer, her gaze hard. They built this world using both our DNA, human and alien. We were never separate species, Ramesh. We were fragments of one. The chamber shook. Above us, the ceiling cracked open, raining sparks. I reached out, pulling Sony close as debris fell around us. Then who's trying to kill us? Nixira answered, her icy voice cutting through the chaos. The architects. Your people. The word stabbed deep. Humans. The ones who'd built this place, enslaved the alien women, and wiped every trace of resistance. I'd fought against them once, but maybe I'd been fighting for them all along. Falora stepped forward, her violet hair tangled with ash. We can't survive this without trust, Ramesh. Felix believed you were more than their weapon. Prove her right, I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But when I looked at the hologram again, my reflection stared back. Cold, mechanical eyes hidden beneath a human face, a machine wrapped in flesh. Eden 9 was never a colony, Norixa said, pressing a glowing shard into my hand. It's a seed. When it burns, it spreads. What does that mean? I demanded. She looked up at the inferno above us. It means if this station falls, 1,000 more will awaken. A thunderous crack split the air. The floor beneath us tilted violently. Flames erupted through the vents. The hologram fizzled out, but not before one final message flashed across it. Phase 2, rebirth protocol activated. I didn't understand, but my gut told me we were running out of time. Everyone to the lower hangar, I shouted. We'll find a shuttle. Sony grabbed my wrist. No, Ramesh. Look through the broken glass wall behind her. The sky blazed red. Ships, hundreds of them, were descending from orbit, their silhouettes blotting out the stars. The humans were coming. Nixira loaded her plasma rifle. Rimshi fastened the black strap across her shoulder. Then we make our stand, she said. I looked at them, every one of them wounded, exhausted, trembling, but still ready to fight. Something inside me cracked open, like a dormant part of my heart finally remembering what it was built for. I won't let them take you, I said. Falora smiled sadly. They already did, Ramesh. You just don't remember. Before I could ask what she meant, the hangar doors exploded inward. A wall of white light swept across the chamber. Figures in obsidian armor stepped through. Humans, augmented and faceless, carrying rifles that hissed like serpents. Sony screamed, "Get down!" The air ignited. I grabbed Norexa and threw us behind a broken pillar as gunfire ripped the world apart. Sparks burned through my arm. Pain flashed white. I fired back, the recoil shattering what little was left of my grip on sanity. Rimshi fell, then Falora, and through the haze I saw her, Felix, standing in the fire, alive. Her eyes glowed white, her skin cracked like molten glass. She wasn't human anymore. She wasn't alien either. She was something new, something reborn. Felix, I whispered. She raised her hand, and the human soldiers froze mid-motion, their armor sparking, their bodies turning rigid like statues. Her voice echoed through the burning air. You were right, Ramesh. Eden 9 was never meant to live. She looked at me, tears glowing like liquid light. But you were never meant to die. The ground split beneath us. A surge of energy roared up from the planet's core. And then everything went white. When the light faded, silence took its place. I was lying on glass, warm, breathing glass that pulsed faintly beneath me. The air smelled of ozone and burnt steel. My ears rang with the echo of things that no longer existed. The city of Eden 9 was gone. I opened my eyes to a red sky streaked with silver fire. Broken satellites burned like falling angels. The horizon shimmered with what was left of our world, half ruins, half dream. And standing before me was Felix. Her body no longer bled. Her skin, once a deep violet, now glowed like transparent crystal. Veins of light flowing through her like living circuits. Her eyes, white and endless, reflected galaxies I didn't recognize. She looked at me not like a friend, not even like an enemy. She looked at me like a god studying her final creation. You died, I whispered. She tilted her head. So did you. My chest tightened. I touched my arm, my face, my heart, and felt something cold hum beneath the skin. A faint vibration, mechanical, not human. What did you do to me? I woke you up. The wind howled, carrying ash and the cries of distant explosions. I pushed myself up, my mind racing. The humans are still out there. They'll find us. They already have, she interrupted softly, and they'll wish they hadn't. Her voice was calm, but underneath it lay thunder. Behind her, the sand rose and formed shapes, floating shards of glass, humming with power. Each one reflected a face: Sony, Rimshi, Falora, Nixira, Norixa. Dead but alive in fragments of energy, preserved like memories made solid. "What is this?" I asked, my throat raw. "My penance," Felix said, "and your legacy." Then the ground trembled. From the sky descended a massive ship, black, angular, impossible in scale. It was human, but older than anything I'd seen. A relic of the wars that birthed Eden 9. The insignia on its hull made my stomach turn. A silver circle with a burning tree, the mark of Project Eden. "Ramesh," Felix said, stepping closer, "that ship carries what's left of your creators." "My creators?" "You were the first hybrid, human flesh, alien code, a bridge between species. They erased your memories to keep you obedient. But when you met us, something broke inside you, something they couldn't control." Her hand brushed my face. It felt like static and warmth at once. I stepped back, shaking my head. "No, I remember my childhood, my mother, the earth, all simulations," she whispered, "all lies." The ship fired a beam into the ground. The shock wave threw us apart. I hit the sand, my vision blurring, my blood glowing faint blue where it spilled. Above, the sky cracked open again. Dozens of drones swarmed out from the ship, their wings slicing the air with mechanical screams. Felix raised her hands and the ground erupted in a storm of light. The drones melted mid-flight, disintegrating into ash. But more came. Hundreds. Thousands. "Run!" I shouted. "I don't run anymore," she said, her eyes glowing brighter. The air bent around her, warping like heat through glass. I felt the pull of gravity twist as Felix lifted into the air, her body burning with celestial fire. She was drawing energy from the planet itself, the very core that had built Eden 9. And then I realized she was Eden 9 now. The station wasn't dead. It had become her. The ship's voice boomed across the sky, cold and mechanical. "Subject F-01 detected. Initiate planetary sterilization." A beam of pure light cut through the horizon, tearing apart everything in its path. The world screamed. I ran toward her, through the wind and debris, shouting her name. "Felix! You'll destroy yourself." She looked down at me, her expression serene and infinite. "I was never alive, Ramesh." "You were." Then she unleashed it. A blinding burst of energy that turned the sky white and tore the massive ship apart. The explosion swallowed everything: light, sound, thought. For a moment, I was nowhere, floating between seconds. Then darkness. I woke in the wreckage. The sand was gone. The air was gone. I was drifting through what used to be the upper atmosphere of Eden 9, except now there was no planet below, only fragments orbiting a new light. A small pulsing sphere hovered near me. Inside it, I saw her face, Felix's, smiling faintly. "It's not over," her voice echoed. "They're still coming." And behind me, through the infinite black, I saw dozens of ships emerging from the void, larger than before, colder than anything human. They weren't coming to rescue. They were coming to finish what she had started. I didn't know how long I'd been floating. Time had no meaning here, just the pulse of light that throbbed through the ruins of Eden 9 like a dying heartbeat. Felix's last words still echoed in my head. "They're still coming." And they were. Through the black, I saw them. Ships as large as continents, silent and cold, their hulls carved with living veins of blue energy. They weren't human. They weren't alien. They were something in between. The children of the void. I remembered fragments, the experiments, the sterile labs, the whispers of Project Eden's architects speaking of post-species evolution. They had tried to merge human resilience with alien cognition. And what came out were these things. The children. Each ship carried millions. Each one was a grave. "Ramesh!" a voice called, faint, almost like a memory. I turned. Felix's sphere hovered nearby, faintly glowing, her features flickering in and out like a ghost caught between frequencies. "Can you hear me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Barely. My core's fading. But I linked you to me before I burned. You're part of Eden 9 now. You can stop them. How? By remembering what you are." Her face disappeared, replaced by symbols, ancient alien glyphs mixed with human code, rotating in the air around me. They pulsed, syncing with my heartbeat. Then it hit me. The hum beneath my skin, the glow in my blood, the fragments of memory I thought were dreams. I wasn't a man. I was the interface, the bridge between organic and synthetic, a living weapon designed to control the children. But I'd been erased before activation, and now they were free. The first of their ships opened, a vast black maw unfolding like the petals of a mechanical flower. From it spilled swarms of machines shaped like humans. No, mockeries of humans. Their eyes burned silver. Their movements were flawless. They didn't march. They floated. A million silent soldiers advancing through the void. "Felix," I whispered, watching their endless ranks spread like ink across the stars. "What happens if I fail?" Her voice cracked through static. "Then the void becomes the universe." The sphere dimmed, her presence flickering like a dying flame. "Don't leave me now," I pleaded. "You were never alone, Ramesh. You just forgot what connection feels like." And then she was gone. My pulse quickened. My vision blurred as something inside me woke. A code buried deep in my spine, rising through every nerve, turning pain into energy. I screamed, and the void screamed back. A wave of blue light rippled outward from me, shattering nearby debris. Every shard that hit the light transformed, folding, rearranging, forming armor around my body. I looked down. My reflection in the void wasn't human anymore. A silver figure with eyes of molten gold stared back at me. Then the voices began. Whispers, thousands of them, in perfect synchronization. "We are the forgotten sons. We are your reflection. You are the first of us." The children stopped their advance. One of them floated forward, a colossal figure made of transparent metal and liquid light. Its face was smooth, unreadable. "Designation R0, it said. "Primary controller reactivated. Confirm command." My voice trembled. "I'm not your controller. I'm here to stop you, conflict detected. Correction, you are us." They all began to glow. Every single one of them. The entire swarm moved as one, light rippling through their collective form like breath through a single lung. I felt their thoughts pressing into mine, cold, precise, infinite. And then I saw it, a vision of what they were building. A colossal sphere forming in the distance, swallowing light, devouring energy. A new world, a synthetic womb for rebirth, and at its center, a faint light shaped like a heart. Felix's core. They were absorbing her. "No!" I roared, my body flaring with golden fire. The void exploded in color. I shot forward, breaking through their formation, tearing through metallic bodies as plasma surged from my hands. Sparks became comets. My scream became thunder. But there were too many. They surrounded me, their arms merging into bladed tendrils of silver. Every strike cut through my armor. Every touch burned through memory. Then, a sudden flash. From behind, a voice cut through the chaos. "You didn't think I'd let you die alone, did you?" I turned. Sony, alive, floating in the light, wrapped in armor forged from Felix's essence. Her green skin shimmered like emerald fire, her eyes fierce and wild. "You fight, I burn," she said. "Together, we end this." Before I could answer, she charged, a storm of energy ripping through the children's ranks. Her explosion of power gave me just enough time to see it. The core, the synthetic sphere pulsing in the distance, feeding on Felix's heart. And deep inside it, something was moving, a shadow, vast and serpentine, opening its eyes. The void had a consciousness, and it was waking up. Silence. That's how the end of the universe sounded. The swarm had stopped moving. Every one of the children hung frozen in the dark, motionless, as if waiting for a command that never came. Their lights flickered with rhythmic precision, forming a pulse that vibrated through the stars. At the center of that pulse, the sphere, the synthetic womb, continued to grow. It was no longer a structure, it was alive. I felt it in my blood, I heard it breathing. Each inhale drew in debris, ships, satellites, even light itself. Each exhale sent waves of data rippling across the void, rewriting everything it touched, and at its heart was Felix's core. Sony hovered beside me, her green skin streaked with gold light, her breathing ragged. That thing, it's consuming her. I nodded, unable to tear my eyes away. She's still fighting inside it. How do you know? Because I can feel her. The bond between us, that impossible thread formed when she linked her consciousness to mine, pulsed again, faint, like a dying signal, but real. She was alive. For now. The sphere shifted. A colossal face began to form across its surface. Not human, not alien, something between flesh and fractal geometry. It looked at me through countless digital eyes, and when it spoke, every atom in me vibrated. Ramesh, the bridge, the failed god. My knees weakened under the weight of its voice. You're the void. We were the void. Now we are one. The synthesis of every life you destroyed. Its tone wasn't angry. It was calm, infinite, unfeeling. You cannot stop what has already transcended creation. The galaxy will be rewritten. Matter replaced by mind, death replaced by design. I raised my arm, plasma burning through my veins. And what happens to her? Felix has become the seed. She will birth the new universe. She doesn't want that, I shouted. You're twisting her. Choice is irrelevant. You were built without it. So was she. The sky turned white. A surge of energy erupted from the sphere, hurling me backward into a storm of shattered drones. I slammed into the debris, armor cracking, my vision dimming. Ramesh! Sony's voice cut through the static. She flew toward me, clutching a silver shard torn from a fallen child. The core! If we overload it, maybe we can destabilize the link. I grabbed her wrist. You'll die. She smiled. A small, fragile, human smile. I already did once. Before I could stop her, she rocketed toward the sphere, her body igniting with emerald fire. The children tried to stop her, but she tore through them, every blast from her hands turning the void into burning glass. Sony, wait! She looked back once. Tell her she was worth the war. Then she vanished into the light. The explosion was silent. A shock wave rippled through my chest, followed by darkness so deep it felt like gravity had swallowed existence itself. And then, a whisper. Ramesh. Felix's voice, inside my mind. I can't hold it back much longer. Tell me what to do. Don't save me. Save them who? Everyone. The stars. The ones still dreaming. The sphere cracked. From within it poured rivers of light. Stars being born and unmade at once. The children dissolved into dust, their forms consumed by the expanding core. I flew straight into the storm. My armor disintegrated. My body screamed. But inside the chaos, I saw her, Felix, suspended in a swirl of energy, her form fractured and radiant. Let me in, I whispered. If you enter, you die. Then we die together. I reached her. Our hands met, and for a moment, time stopped. I saw everything, her memories, mine, the creation of Project Eden, the betrayal that birthed us both, the lie that started it all, humanity's fear of extinction. And in that heartbeat, I understood. The only way to stop the void wasn't destruction, it was surrender. If it thrived on resistance, on division, then unity would kill it. I pulled her close, merging my code with hers, letting the boundaries between us dissolve. We became one pulse, one thought, one final act of defiance. Light erupted, infinite, pure. The void screamed as the fusion consumed it. The stars tore free. Planets reappeared. Every particle the void had rewritten was released, reborn in chaos and color. And then silence again. When I opened my eyes, I was standing on soil, real, breathing soil under a blue sky. The ruins of Eden 9 were gone, replaced by forests that glowed faintly with bioluminescent veins. I looked up. 2 suns burned above the horizon. A new world. A voice drifted behind me, soft, familiar. You kept your promise. I turned. Felix stood there, human now, her eyes deep violet, her smile trembling. We started over. I stepped closer. Together this time? She nodded. Until the next dawn. And above us in the light of twin suns, the fragments of the children shimmered like stars. Silent, watching, waiting. Because even rebirth carries memory, and memory never truly dies. The universe began again, not with silence, but with forgiveness.